welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another episode on the Grade A Flicks channel of Grade A Fantasy, as we are here to preview Week 2 quarterbacks for the Week 2 FanDuel slate. Before we get into that, I would just like to say I hope everybody had a profitable and fun Week 1. On my end, it went pretty well. I tried to take advantage of the tickets that I won for the Millie, but my main two contests, and I also won a ticket for the World Fan Championship. But my main two big pieces of profitability definitely was in the 25 and the 25 max and the 20 max. As you can see here, did a nice little ROI there. Pretty much doubled the entries or whatever. It was $75, so almost 150 is almost times two. Highest lineup was 98. That lineup at 98th did get as close into the top 30s, maybe even in the low teens, but things just didn't crack my way. But as you see here, my best lineup had Mr. Richardson, ETN, had Mixon, Waddle. Pittman didn't go off how I liked. I did get to Nico Collins. I got to Kyle Pitts. And I picked a very low-owned Jameson Williams, who had a 4.3 ownership. And then, of course, this lineup also had the Bears. If we look into the 5K contest, basically same thing again. 2 times 20 is 40. So, a 2.04 ROI there. And once again, the number one lineup was that lineup that I had there. It was duped into this one, so got into 74th. So it was a pretty fun day for me. Now enough of that. Now that we got through that quick little display there, let's get to the quarterbacks. So we got a couple of the big dogs here. This week we're missing Josh Allen. Josh Allen and both Tua are on the Thursday single game, so they will not be on the slate. And once again, FanDuel, I guess this is going to be their new thing this year. Once again, FanDuel included the 8:20 game, which means you'll have to make some decisions on getting some of those pieces. And in most cases, most people will be focusing on getting C.J. Stroud from Houston and stacking that side of the game. But let's go through the whole quarterback slate. So we have Lamar Jackson. I'm not worried about that Q tag. Reports say he was a little bit sore after that game. He did a ton of running, got knocked down in the pocket, did a lot of running, took some hits. They say he's sore. Superstar like this that's sore, he'll take it light in practice. He'll be ready for the game. I think Lamar is good for cash plays, even though he will be up there. He doesn't have to run as much, but let's not forget, Lamar has had some games where he only rushes for one touchdown. And he has those games where he can attack with his arm and give you 3 TD type upside or whatever. This looks like one of those games where they could run up the score in Vegas. So Lamar is still a great option, even though the game script probably doesn't go his way. It probably favors more of a Derrick Henry. If they drive down, they could give it to him a bunch of times inside the 5 and stuff like that. So great. Patrick Mahomes is on this slate against Cincinnati. Since it's still going to be interesting. I think Mahomes plays better. Well, he still played great opening night, but I think the numbers, that the upside that he has there, 8,700 with Lamar and Patrick Mahomes, it's a little pricier than what Josh Allen was, obviously, but obviously there's still going to be cheap ways to figure him in. Anthony Richardson against Green Bay, he should have a lot of opportunities with the injury to oh man, why is his name blanking on me right now? I can't believe his name is where is the quarterback for, where is he? I don't know why he's blanking on me right now, but Jordan Love. Wow, I don't know why that happened. But the reason why Anthony Richardson looks great, he's going to have a lot of opportunities to scramble a lot, because it looks like with Love being out, now it's looking like instead of a month, it's looking like he could be out for a month and a half, going on 2 months. the Green Bay offense won't be moving the ball as much, possibly a lot of 3-and-outs, maybe some turnovers from whoever the backup quarterback is going to be. And Anthony Richardson should have a lot of short field to operate and also give the ball to Jonathan Taylor, but maybe even be able to attack Michael Pittman a little better. Remember one thing, he had a great game efficiently. He'll probably have some more chances to pass the ball. He didn't even get over 20 pass attempts, so hopefully he could up that more with his running upside, and he could also be a good play. Once again, CJ Stroud stacks at the end of the day. You might want to do that for Slate upside, as he's in the 820 game. Kyler Murray looks perfectly healthy. Looks like a great play for Los Angeles. The defense did appear a lot better than it did, but it still gave up a lot of points toward the end. Like I said, Kyler Murray still has that great upside. With his cheap receivers, he's amazing for stacking. Jaden Daniels is somebody that I'll be looking at because he has the pitiful Giants defense. Now, he still has a lot to prove with his arm, but Jaden Daniels could definitely be at home against the Giants. I really think he has tremendous upside. He's actually one of my favorite plays on the slate. Personally, all these guys are great up here. But when it comes to just being a little bit cheaper, if you're not going with Lamar, I think you could honestly, and yes, Kyler Murray and Anthony Richardson with CJ Stroud, great opportunity. But he's actually my 1A to 1B. It's him and Lamar, to be pretty honest. With the rushing upside is just going to be great. But I think I give Jaden Daniels just that bit of an advantage a little bit more, because you're saving basically saving $1,100 going down to Jaden. Jared Goff, once again, Detroit's in another playoff rematch. Now it's against the Buccaneers. They're at home once again. You already know how the Lions are when they are at home. I love this matchup. He's like my maybe number 2, because once again, Tampa Bay defense, please don't be fooled by some of the appearances and the performances by some of these defense, because some of them were playing inept offense, inept quarterbacks. Tampa Bay is still a pass funnel. And once again, I said Tampa Bay did lose some people to retirement, and they didn't really do that much of a great job reassuring their defensive backfield. So Jared Goff stacks. Even though people may like Goff, and you're not going to get anything from his legs, but Jared Goff stacks are in high priority this week. In other cases, Stafford is in a good position because of his price. Him and Cooper Kupp went up $700 to $77, so him and Kupp about the same price. And if you want to double stack, he has cheap wide receiver options now that Puka Nacua is going to be out for a month. Baker's, and once again going against Goff in that high scoring possible game. That game is now at 51.5. I would not be surprised if that gets to 52.5. I'm telling you, both defenses are okay. If I pick one, yes, I like Detroit's defense at home always. But that game should go back and forth. It should play out something like how last year's wild card playoff game played out. And as we keep going down here, anything else that I really like, as cheap as he is, and like I said, I still think Tennessee's another defensive backfield you can attack. I don't care if Tennessee is ranked. Tennessee went against Caleb Williams, who played horrible. He couldn't do anything. These people are ranked just because of what they did so far just for week 1. Aaron Rodgers, I think, is a very underrated play. Anybody could look bad against the 49ers defense. I think Aaron Rodgers is there for a bounce back. Yes, Breece Hall could go against Tennessee, but guess what? He also throws the ball to Breece Hall. He could get those screen yardage. I think you could actually think about, he looks like a low-owned tournament type play. I think Aaron Rodgers definitely has 3 touchdown, 300-yard upside against Tennessee. Not many people are talking about him yet. That Tennessee defense is not that good. They just look really good because Caleb Williams just looked that bad. As we keep going down here, these are interesting tournament plays. Well, all 3 of these names right here. I think this is the lowest I'll probably go. I don't really like anything else down this far. So when it comes to quarterbacks, I'll talk about these 3 guys here. Excuse me. They're still monitoring Russell Wilson's calf, but right now reports say Pittsburgh is practicing as if Justin Fields will be the starting quarterback. I mean, he seemed efficient. He did fine, but I guess with a little bit more of a with more reps and maybe getting used to the offense, he was able to hit George Pickens a couple of times. Denver is still decent, passing, but I think where Pittsburgh can gash, and I did prove it last week. I did say Kenneth Walker would be a solid hit, will be a solid pick from last week. Kenneth Walker also hit the prop that I also spoke about on Underdog Fantasy. I'll also do a review about that in another coming up episode. But Justin Fields or Russell Wilson, I mean, tournament upside, they're cheap. I understand Daniel Jones, horrible, but Washington defense is even more horrible. Fantasy is about opportunity. If he could just cut down the turnovers, hit Malik Neighbors, he could be a very cheap stack at 69. Doesn't have to do much. He doesn't have to break the slate for 3 or 4 touchdowns. But if Daniel Jones could throw for like 250 to 275, I don't think, even as bad as Washington is, the Giants defense isn't that great. So I don't think Daniel Jones has 300-yard upside to get the bonus. Could he throw a touchdown, run for one, and finish on a nice like 17-point day? Because he also ran in one. Now, if he runs in a touchdown, he's getting you 20-something points. But if he could do something like 250 to 275 against a bad Washington defense and add some running yards to it, I think for 6,900 you'll be fine with Daniel Jones giving you in the range of a 14 to 16 floor. I mean, the way he's playing, his floor is more like 12, 14. But we're just going to up that projection a little bit, going against Washington, mini stack with Neighbors, and then you just call it a day, and then you'll just go from there. But after that, I really don't see why you would play anything else below that. Like I said, I think the best tournament play for bounce back, because nobody's really talking about him, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, for a bounce back game and somebody who has 3 touchdown upside and 300-yard output, and it's a likely output against a Tennessee defense. Once again, do not get fooled by these rankings. That right there was a joke of a game. It was a horrible game to watch. I like for tournaments, I will be having pieces, and I think you only need, for me, somebody that likes to play the 25 max. I think I would only need to put Aaron Rodgers in 3, maybe 4 lineups, 2 or 3 lineups, and I think I'll be above the field on Aaron Rodgers. I think he's the tournament play y'all should at least throw a dart at. It sounds weird saying Aaron Rodgers is a dart throw, but when you see what everybody else did last week and what the fantasy upside is for some of these players with Patrick Mahomes, Anthony Richardson, Lamar Jackson, C.J. Stroud being the last game of the day, so there are people who like to fade the last game and just go with their 4 o'clock. And when I was in the 20 max, there was a bunch of people who had no time left with a full game to go, and the Rams and Lions game blew up. So you're gonna need CJ Stroud, Kyler Murray. I explained before, Los Angeles Rams, that defense is not that good. They lost a lot of people. They played hard, and it was a good game against the Lions and everything. They did a great job against Amon-Ra St. Brown, but they just couldn't hold up everybody else. So, and then Jaden Daniels in that same game against the Giants has great upside. Jared Goff stacked, Stafford stacks, Baker Mayfield in a great high scoring spot. I just think that with all those quarterbacks, and then like I said, these are dart throws, but they're point per dollar dart throws. But the person who's cheap, and I think you really need to try and get to him, is Aaron Rodgers against Tennessee. If there's anybody down here in this range, after I spoke about Baker Mayfield, yeah, I like Joe Burrow. Yes, I like Brock Purdy. But when you look at the situations of what their teams are going through after week 1, what they're going against, and you see everybody here, Derek Carr's not going to look that good against Dallas. No, he's not. The Seattle offense sputtered, and that's another thing. I think a lot of people realize that you saw a lot of offense. Now, maybe they start a little faster, but week 1, a lot of offenses were rusty out the gate. You can tell there were teams that did not get any time in the preseason at all. So they looked a bit rusty, a lot of halftime adjustments, and then it kicked on. So, but when you look at down here, after I speak about Baker Mayfield, let's be real. With what I just said, with the games that they're in, the teams that they're playing, 300-yard 3 touchdown upside. Maybe Brock Purdy, Minnesota, possibly. Yes, that's another defense because Minnesota's defense is not that great. They looked real good because they played the Giants, so it could be Brock Purdy, but they could also run the ball, and also Debo could run the ball as an option out of the backfield. So when it comes to that, all these guys down here, the best cheap play is possibly Aaron Rodgers. Don't forget about that man. He is still, as Stephen A says, a bad man. And that is my short preview short, efficient preview for the quarterbacks. I will be, let me see. I think I'm going to follow this up. I do want to talk about the running backs, obviously. Running backs is going to be interesting this week, but I just want to save that because, like I said, the most important piece of news is the most expensive running back and the most expensive player on the slate, which is Christian McCaffrey. So running backs will be done last. Tomorrow, I actually think I might combine, if I could go through this quick format, get my notes together and what I like and talk about, I think I can combine wide receivers and tight ends together and then get to running backs and defenses at the end of the week. But that's the end of this show. I'll just like to say thank you. Like and subscribe. Once again, I'm still holding that private league. If you're interested, please drop your FanDuel name in the comment section below. I would love to increase my league of 8 members. Hopefully, I'm trying to get it to at least 10, 11, whatever. Bigger prize pool, more competition. Yeah. Good luck with your research this week. I'll be back tomorrow with the preview for the wide receivers and tight ends. And I hope this video was very informative and it starts your research and your lineup building for week 2. Just looking to continue the process, looking for positive ROI. Hopefully a couple things bounce my way. And hey, maybe I take down the 25 max this week on FanDuel. Who knows? But other than that, this is Grade A Fantasy on the Grade A Flex channel with the quarterback week 2 preview on FanDuel. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, once again, like, subscribe, comment. Thank you for tuning in. I'm signing off. Have a good night.